Hello, this is Susan with Rosa Mystica Catholic Medals, and today I'm going to tell you about Saint Gabriel of Our Lady of Sorrows. So I'm going to start by showing you this beautiful Saint Gabriel medal. He's known also as Saint Gabriel Possenti, and you can see the inscription around the edge. It says Saint Gabriel della Adolorata or Adolorata in Italian means sorrowful mother or grieving mother. And so here we have a nice picture of St. Gabriel. He's looking at a skull, which is not uncommon on saint medals because the saint is encouraging you to contemplate your mortality. And apparently people used to gaze at skulls to remind them that they were going to die and think about how they ought to live their lives now while they still have the chance to make things better. He also has a crucifix and a book in front of him. So I thought it'd be fun to learn a little more about this saint. I really didn't know anything about him myself when I started preparing for this talk. And also, on the other side is Saint Gemma Galgani. Gemma Galgani? I never know how to pronounce that. Gemma Galgani. Well, we're going to go with that for right now. It was another great Italian saint, a beautiful young woman. She is the patron saint of pharmacists and against back pain. Saint Gabriel is the patron of Catholic students and youth and seminarians. So let's find out a little bit about Saint Gabriel. Saint Gabriel was born in Italy in 1838. He was the 11th of 13 children, and his family was really well-to-do. His father was the governor of Assisi in Italy. That's where he was born. And then later they moved to Spoleto, where he had another nice job with the government. St. Gabriel's given name was Francis Possenti, so for now I'm going to refer to him as Francis. His mother died before his 4th birthday, and his father entrusted the raising of all the children to a local lady and also to his older sister. So he was very close to his older sister. When Francis reached school age, his father sent him first to the Christian Brothers to be educated and then to the Jesuits for high school. And by the time he graduated at 18, the family was living in Spoleto. Francis regularly went to Mass, and he was known to be really a nice guy. He gave to the poor, but he also liked dressing the latest styles. He liked going to the theater. He liked parties, and he was known to be a really good dancer. He loved dancing. He had a really active social life and apparently saw lots of local girls. So it sounds to me like if Francis lived today, he'd be the type of all-around good guy who's captain of the football team and student body president. He apparently liked everybody, and everybody liked him. And at the time of his graduation, he was good-looking, he was popular, and because of his father's position in the government, he had the social standing to achieve whatever he wanted. He was valedictorian of his class and was remembered for giving a really stirring speech at the graduation ceremony, and he received a gold medal for being such an outstanding student. However, Francis had had several close calls with death while he was growing up. In 1851, he became gravely ill, and he promised the Virgin Mary he would become a priest if he was healed. Well, he was healed, and he didn't do anything about his promise. And this happened 2 more times. So upon graduation, everybody thought Francis was going to go start a great career like his father had. They didn't realize about Francis's promise, and they also didn't know that he had had a serious religious conversion about a month before the graduation. There was a terrible outbreak of cholera in Spoleto in 1856, and it killed Francis's sister. The epidemic was stopped as a result of prayers to the Blessed Virgin Mary, and in thanksgiving, her statue was carried through the streets, and Francis saw it pass by. And as the picture, actually it was a picture of her, as the picture reached him, it appeared that Mary looked at him and he heard the words, "What are you doing here? Quick, go and become a religious." So Mary was remembering his promise and basically telling him, "Dude, I'm calling it in. Why are you here?" As a result, as soon as Francis graduated, he said goodbye to his friends. They all thought he was going on a vacation. Instead, he went on to join the Passionist novitiate in Moravale to become one of their priests. Once he was in Moravale, he became a novice at the Passionist Monastery and received a new name, Gabriel of Our Lady of Sorrows. So from now on in the story, I'm going to call him Gabriel. So to become a Passionist priest, you have to live a really austere life. The novices study theology and philosophy, and they slept then on mattresses made of straw. And Gabriel's days consisted of prayer, study, manual labor, and sometimes he was allowed to socialize with the other brothers. So his life was nothing like it had been before he joined the monastery. After the novitiate, he stayed in Morvale, then he was sent to a few other monasteries, finally ending up in Isola, Italy, where he started showing symptoms of tuberculosis. Throughout his illness, he was always known for being cheerful and considerate to everyone, and he died on February 27th of 1862, before he was able to be ordained a priest. So, to be honest, while I was researching this, I got to this point in the story and I thought, I totally do not see why this guy is a saint. Even his biographer said there's nothing out of the ordinary that occurred during his time with the Passionists. But as I continued to read, I learned that he achieved sainthood through his ability to basically turn his life around on a dime and go from being this footloose student, a son of a wealthy man, to becoming a model of obedience within his order. So out of love for Christ and his passion, he strove for perfection in every act he did as a brother. And in doing that, he achieved something which is almost impossible for us, and that is that he mastered himself. It reminded me a lot of St. Therese of Lisieux. He took care to do everything he did, even the smallest and most unimportant things, out of love for Jesus, and gave us a model of how to become a saint through doing all that you do, even the littlest things, with consideration for others and out of love for Christ. So today, St. Gabriel is the patron saint of young people and seminarians. And I found out that he's pictured on the back of the St. Gemma medal because St. Gabriel was one of her favorite saints. She called on him for strength and support when she was ill and received a healing through his intervention. And like him, St. Gemma died at a young age from tuberculosis. Thanks for learning about St. Gabriel with me. I thought he was fascinating. And if you'd like to see the medal I showed you at the beginning of the video or any other of the more than 100 antique religious medals that we replicate in sterling silver and bronze, please click on the link to visit our shop, Rosa Mystica Catholic Medals. It'll be in the description under this video. Thanks so much for listening.